how'd you feel about the Oscars?
I missed them.
You missed them.
Yeah. I don't even know where I was. When were they?
It was Sunday, but I mean, did you like any of the big films this year?
That, you know what? I'm showing my age here. I didn't see any.
You didn't miss out.
Yeah. It's just they don't make movies like they used to.
We'll take that.
Pretty depressing.
What's your favorite movie?
It really is. I mean, it's pretty depressing.
I agree.
They, you know, I think that I just started watching Zero Day. You guys watch that?
On the Netflix.
Yeah. Excited about that.
I'm going to ask you about Hoosiers then. Gene Hackman just passed away.
Yeah, Gene Hackman. Well, look, I'm a movie guy, so these, you know, the Unforgiven, Little Bill. I can keep going. I mean, obviously Norman Dale, Rankin Fitch, Runaway Jury, sneaky movie.
I love Runaway.
Gene Hackman was a legend,
Yeah.
legendary guy. Yeah, I'm a big movie guy, but I haven't seen a.
Yeah, they were all. It wasn't a lot of blockbusters this year.
Got to get Hollywood back to the way it used to be.
We'll quote you on that.
They quote me on everything else.
Coach, last regular season game. How are you feeling about where this team is playing right now?
Well, I thought that our competitive desire matched the what I'm asking for the guys, and our will to win at Northwestern, our commitment to playing harder than our opponent, showed in our rebounding, where we were dominant. And you know, Pat Riley used to say, "What happens when the ball's on the floor or in the air decides who wins." A lot of games. He's a pretty smart coach. So, you know, I believe in that, and we just got to try to build on that and continue on that. And I thought we did at Purdue for 36 minutes, or 33 or 34 minutes. But Purdue's fighting, their fighting spirit was a little bit better than ours in the last 6 minutes. Now they're at home, they're a great team, and they're in a must-win situation, coming off four losses, albeit to ranked teams. But that's what it's going to take to win in March. So I was really encouraged with that, and we got to, you know, I was just texting with Johnny Juzang about that. He had a great game last night, 10 for 15 from the field. So, but he was texting me, tell the guys I said hi. He gave them a talk last summer. Make sure them guys are ready for March. So
You talk about competitive desire. Looking at USC, their situation in the standings, they're obviously going to come in pretty juiced, try to improve their spot in the standings. What's it going to take to match what they're probably going to come out and show you guys?
look, well, first of all, it's a rivalry game. You never want to let your rival beat you on your home floor. For your fan base, for your job security. But look, every game, and to me, I mean, you say every game, but look, 99% of these games in this league, it's hard to win. It's hard to win, because when you start talking about fighting spirit and competitiveness, it's not that I'm trying to tell you, it's not that you're not sweating or trying. It's are you doing it more than them? And Michigan State's going to win our league because they've been the most consistent, hard-playing team in our league. But we're worried about becoming that team for the NCAA tournament. So Saturday's another opportunity to build on what we're trying to become. And obviously, you want to win the rivalry game. So I don't think I have to motivate these guys for Saturday.
Speaking of emotions and managing them, I know you've already had one meeting, but how has Kobe, managed his mental state and emotions coming into, playing against a team he spent some time with?
It's funny, I didn't talk to him about that. I didn't talk to Sky about it at Illinois. I think that stuff's overrated, but I'm probably wrong. But I think it'd only make it worse. It's like injuries. I don't talk about them. I think, if you talk about stuff, then you give credence to it. I try to just worry about execution and playing basketball. I start worrying about that other kind of stuff. I think it kind of gives it fuel. So I don't really. Everybody's a transfer nowadays. I mean.
Yeah.
So I know the fouls made things a little weird in the Northwestern game, but I think there was a stretch where you had Sky, Sebastian, Dylan, Kobe, and Adai out there together.
Yeah, I don't.
Was
That wasn't very long.
Yeah, that was more about the.
I think Eric got in foul trouble,
Yeah.
so I was trying to get Kobe on Martinelli, and just trying to make sure. I also had Will on him, so our going into the game it was the three guys I thought would have a chance to limit him. He's the leading scorer in the league.
Yeah.
Were those three guys. So it was at that time I was trying to see how to give Kobe a shot at him.
We're kind of at that point of the year now. Do you feel good about your ability from your small group to a bigger group to as far as matchups go?
Well, I would like to be able to play the bigger group. Adai's conditioning is a big key.
Yeah.
Then Tyler and Eric's ability to guard perimeter players. Like for instance, Agbo at USC is a shooter. St. Thomas, if he's out at that spot, St. Thomas is a guard. So for those guys, their defensive mobility is a big piece of it. If not, we got to play zone if we play that lineup. So Tyler's defensive mobility, to be able to guard a guy like Martinelli, you play him and Adai at the same time. But I played Will and Adai. You didn't ask about that one. You saw that one out. Will and Adai played together because Will can guard, he can move his feet defensively on the perimeter better than any of our big guys.
Yeah.
So that's why I was comfortable when Eric's in foul trouble with Will and Martinelli. So it becomes a matchup thing, depending on who you're playing. Like in Wisconsin and Michigan, they play two bigs that aren't, they're not the quickest guys. So, it's easier to do that.
Are you basically following success once the game starts in
Yeah,
terms
yeah,
of the matchups?
Well, you go in with, like I said, I went in with a mindset of who we were, the three guys that worked on guarding Martinelli in that game. So, that we prepared for all three of those guys to have to guard him. So yeah, I'm not winging it. I mean, you go, but you have to adjust, right? Because you
Yeah.
go in with a game plan, and they, like for instance, we played USC, and they had a game plan, and we were shooting a high percentage, and Coach Musselman made a veteran move and scrapped it and started trapping us, which to try to get his guy. They were down 10. It was a great move by him. Try to change. You got to do things as a coach to try to change a game that's not going your way, make it go the other way. So you got to adjust. But you go in with like plan A, B, and C in the back of your mind to most games.
Right.
If you get to D, you could be in deep trouble.
You mentioned the Adai's conditioning. When it comes to managing a game, coaching it, is there an art to maybe using the timeouts strategically to maybe try to maximize his minutes and get him a breather here and there?
That's not going to help him. It's minutes played. The timeouts. Because if you call it at 13:40, it's 30 seconds. That's not going to help. It's minutes played. You got to be able to handle minutes played. It's called building your toughness level. Like in our league, Braden Smith. I mean, I want whatever that guy's taking. I want some of it. He's a fountain of youth. He plays 40 minutes a game at Purdue. Plays harder than everybody. He's faster than everybody, and he's better than everybody. And the guy's unbelievable. So it's just it's what your competitive toughness, your conditioning of minutes played. The timeouts aren't going to help because it still builds up in how many banging and minutes played. You got to be able to build on how many minutes you can handle, how hard you can play to certain. And it's just you get older. As you get older, guys get better at that. They can go harder, longer. Now certain guys like a Jaime Jaquez, different dude now. That's why he's a pro. He could do it from day one. I don't know what grade he was in. He played 55 minutes one game here. Is he a sophomore?
Wow.
Yeah. triple overtime game, played 55 minutes. And had to guard a guy who went to the NBA in that game.
How do you feel about Dylan's game at this point?
What do you mean? You gotta be specific.
Just offensively, defensively, just the consistency. I think we're always kind of waiting for that breakout moment, but now we're kind of at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think with Dylan, if if you asked him, he would tell you at times he hasn't played up to his standards. At times he has, but that's for all the guys. I think that it's tough for players in this era. They're all not built. First of all, they're young, and they're trained to read everything that people say about them. The young generation, in fact, they post things so people will comment. I mean, that's just that's the life that they all lead, right? So I think the pressure of playing at UCLA is a factor for all those guys. I think that it's not easily navigated for a guy like Dylan in his situation, or all these guys. I try to tell them all the time, man, just control your effort and your attitude. But that's easy for me to say. I'm older. We're all built different ways. I think, and I think sometimes he's too hard on himself. But we're clearly a better team when he's playing very well. There's no doubt about it. And, it's like we had a little meeting yesterday. It's like, tomorrow, it's just the great thing about when you get an opportunity to wake up tomorrow, because everybody doesn't. Yesterday doesn't matter anymore. You got to move on from it. And there's been a lot of people, talking about Gene Hackman, that became famous later in life, that success took a little bit longer for them. So you got to continue to work and believe, and put in the work and believe. And like I said, I was texting with Johnny Juzang this morning. There's a team that took them a little while. Then they became one of the best teams in the country and went to the Final Four. Now, if they'd have listened to everybody else and worried about what had happened early in our season, we wouldn't have had that success. So that's my message to Dylan. You just got to keep plugging, man. And because that's life. That's life. Everything isn't in life. Even if you get what you want, it's usually going to take you a little bit longer to get it, and it's probably going to be a lot harder to get it than you thought it was going to be.
Yes.
But Instagram doesn't tell you that. Instagram's got people sitting on private planes. The problem is the private plane is in a hangar down at Santa Monica Airport, and they just rotate people in to take pictures and all act like life's easy and great, and everybody's drinking champagne on private planes. And that that's just that's how it is nowadays. But the reality is it takes a lot of hard work. So I just try to tell them, keep positive, keep working, keep positive, keep working. And you go to UCLA, the beauty of it is it's been done before. You play in Title Town, you go to the school with the most titles. So that in itself is a gift as a coach and as a player. So people have done it here before. It can be done again. Just got to believe and keep putting in the work. All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Also,